In today's video, we're going to look at a set of vintage Lister Stablemate horse clippers. I'm Simon, and welcome to Oakside Saddlery. Okay, Lister Stablemate. I keep wanting to call them a star. I don't like this Lister Star, Lister Stablemate. Old clipper, or say old, the class as vintage, 1980s, something like that. They come out. They're a nice clipper. I quite like them. They're heavy compared to modern ones. The motor is sort of a standard for that time, but as far as we're aware, these have never been taken apart. It looks like the filters have been cleaned, but they've never been taken apart. So this is going to be a surprise to us to see what sort of issues we have. Now, there's a few things with them. Blades are all steel stained. They've never really changed. Lots of the interior components are available. I think they work, so we're going to plug them in and check first. So the first thing I don't want are the blades on, just in case anything there. So they just simply unscrew, same as always. Comes out, and I would say the blades come off the back. Oh, they do in the end. So we don't want that. We don't want that. And they've obviously been cleaned out a bit. So let's put these all back together a bit so we don't lose anything. Put them back like that. It means that spring doesn't fall off the end as well. Right, just time being. Motor turns, so that's good. Got 3 amp fuse in there, which is what it should be fitted with. Let's plug that in. Find that switch and see what happens. Well, they work, but it's not the quietest of clipper, is it? So let's see what we've got. Unplug them first then. We're not going to take any of these apart, are we? So I haven't done these for a long time, but I can see there's 2 Phillips screws in there and 2 slotted screws in there. So we need 2 different fittings for it, or 2 different screwdrivers for it. And the first is going to be a posi drive. So that's a posi drive. I'm going to go into there, bit of pressure, and that's tight. That's better. Same with this one. There's a bit of muck in that one. I've got a hook somewhere. So if you get like this, so there's inside there is a bit of hair which is stopping my driver going in properly. And if I try and undo that without getting this hair out, it'll end up messing that screw up. See the hair just coming out of it? If I rake the hair out, there's quite a bit in there in the end. It means that when I put the driver in, should fit a bit better. Get a bit of pressure behind it. There it goes. You can see all the hair that's come with it. So that one's come loose. So you might notice these have a separate. So you've got the motor, gearbox area, and then the clip head. Now they're all just welded into one, aren't they? And a metal clipper head as well. So there's one part. That screws looks good. Other screw looks good as well. Got all the washers and everything with it. You can see there's quite a bit of hair jammed in there. As we can see here, this is the grease that should be greased. It's not really grease anymore, is it? There's a little bit of damage there. Not much, just a little bit. It won't affect it. See anything else? Feels fairly reasonable, so that's good. Now, I don't know if you noticed that. Do you see the state of this? Just a little bit of mess in there. So again, like these are a bit different as well. The gearbox area isn't sealed, so the air through here is going to come through these filters, through this, out through there. But because of that, it means when you're clipping, the hair gets inside. So all of this, all of that is what sits underneath your clipper blades. So again, modern ones, they tend to have not all of them, but they tend to have a sealed gearbox on them, so you can grease them. This one you can't grease, and also inside there where it goes through to here, see the more hair, and that will go through almost to the inside with the motor. Okay, next part then, this piece here we're going to get off. So there's 2 flathead screws in there, and I can already see There's a load of hair in there, so I'm going to clear that out. Clear that out of there. Get a flathead. So flathead screwdriver, it's going to sit in there. That's not too bad. Come apart. And this one here. Longest thread going. Blimey O'Reilly. Got a nice view of my arm there. Got it in the end. This one's going to be the same, no doubt. Got my electric one on here, it'd have been a bit quicker. Although the electrics are not very good when it comes to slide screwdrivers because they just pop out the side, don't they? What? Itchy nose then. This is free, I think it's just caught in the plastic of that. There it goes. Now these, just inside there, there's two more screws. There's one there and there's one in there. These are a bit awkward to get to. And not so bad taking them out. It's when you kind of put them back together again because the amount of times you drop the screws. And me and my sausage fingers regularly drop screws. There's one which I've just dropped. The other one is there. Okay, screw still in there, I'll dig that out. This then just pops off. It goes, there's that screw that's still in there, so I can push that through. He says. If I don't knock it out now, when I come to clean these, knock it back in. Great, there it goes. So that's the inside bit that goes to the motor. So again, there are bits of hair and that gets caught up in there. All of this is all a bit greasy and oily. So as far as I know, these have never been taken apart. You have an O-ring. Now this O-ring, sitting around here, the idea of that is, again, the air being drawn through, pumped out. Behind here is the fan, and that's what comes through there. So it stops it blowing back out at your hand. Blows it out through that head, so that can come off, and we start to see what is basically our motor. So now we can have a little play of this. Actually feels all right, don't feel too bad for all that noise it was making. Filters then, there's one on this side, one on the other side, and then here we've got the brushes, so we have to take these out as well before we get it apart, otherwise they go flying. So I'm going to get them out first. So I want a smaller screwdriver, which is that one there. That one comes out, that one's loose. And this should, he says, come out of there. And as we can see, it's just a little bit of hair. So this side people brush off, this is quite common with these. They get their brush out, have a little brush of that, but what they don't look at is what's gone inside. So what's inside here is all of that. So that filter won't do nothing because it draws, the sun's just come out there, look. Draws the air through your filter and down into here. Through there, and that goes through to the motor. And we'll probably find the same on this side. So again, let's get that out. Go there. Oh, it's not so bad. Look at the inside of that though. Proper rotten. Okay, so we have a serial number as well usually on there. There it is. So 12085. We've still got a lot of our markings that we have nowadays. So that square box here is double insulated. So it'll have 2 wires in here. Shouldn't have an earth at that end. It'll have an earth pin. An earth pin there, but it actually won't be connected. It'll be just blank inside. So that makes a difference when I come to the pat testy thing. Now let's get them out. We should have a proper tool on there, a nice big one, but I can't find it. So I'm just going to use a normal screwdriver. Going to keep a bit of weight on there as that comes out because there's a spring on the back of this, and it often goes ding and off it disappears. So there's one, and inside there is a brush. And that brush looks really good to me. There's one side and the other side. Works the same again. Keep my thumb just on top of it. There it goes free. There's a spring. And there's that brush. That looks good as well. All nice and smooth now. Now there's no brushes in there. That's going easy. So next thing. We've got a screw here. This takes off the electrical bit at the back, so let's get that one. And that's the bigger screwdriver. One thing you notice with this, older ones, variety of tools. The new ones are all the same screws throughout normally. You know, it might be longer, shorter. That's tight. But old style ones always tend to have lots of different ones. So this section here will come off, and that gets us in to the electrical components inside. So you can see it's the same sort of things that you'd have. You've got a thermo fuse there. That's a switch buried in there. So the switch goes through there and presses. So as you do it, it presses the lever down. Underneath it will be a condenser. Now if this is oily, I always have a bit of suspicions. But underneath there will be a condenser. And again, different types of screw fitting again. This time we've got a flat head screw that will go on there. And plus in there we're going to have our wiring. So we've got neutral nearest the switch. So the blue wire is neutral. And live furthest away from it. So I'm going to find what I've done with my other little screwdriver. I've put somewhere, there it is. I've put somewhere safe. I want this one. So I'm going to loosen these off because I'm going to take these wires off of here. That one goes there. That one's tight. Oh, that one goes there. So them 2 wires are free. And then we've got these here. This wire's too small for that one. Go for a bigger one. Other side. Another long screw, far longer than they need to be. And with this one. Let's just start a fire. It goes off there, so this should be free now. So this is a cable clamp. And a cable clamp should get the outer sheath, not the inner wires. So that's another test for it. And then that's our massive wiring. So we often end up with hair sort of trapped underneath that cable sheath there. That's not too bad. So let's clear some of this away so we can see what we're up to again. So there's our reset switch. So if this had popped out, that's that we need to push in. Otherwise, everything looks fairly good in there. So a bit of hair in that one. All looking all right. So let's start on the rest of them. So we've got 2 screws here and 2 screws there. So we're going to loosen them all up. That's one. Another one. Another one. And the last one. And the last one. So what I'm going to do is hold this together because there are pressure plates and springs inside it. So that's free. That one's free. That one's free. That one's free. 1, 2, 3, 4 of them. Now I want this cover off. So this is just going to be levered up here. See it's starting to move. And I'll figure out what side it wants to sit in, because I want it sitting in this side and it's trying to stay at the top. See where the motor is sticking in that top bit? I don't want it up there because they're joined together. So I'm going to try and free that off. There it goes. And then I can prise it open and have a nose. So that's our insides. Inside of these clippers, they are a nice clipper. I really like these older ones. They've got decent size motors. Although they're not as powerful, they're a proper decent motor, but they are heavy. So you do have that. You can see there's a bit of hair that's still got inside. There's a bit of hair in here. So let's have a look at this then, getting this out. This should be free. It should just lever out. There's a couple of little brackets, sort of clips at the back. And then the motor itself should be free. And then these two brush port holders here, they just come up. So there they are. That one. That one. See all these washers that are starting to fall out of the back here? So you've got one there. And sometimes there's a little spring washer in there as well. You can just see that. There it is. Now we're going to come out. There's an O-ring that's starting to fall off. See where that's jammed in the side? That's coming out. So one whole thing free. Do you know what? They're not as bad internally as I thought they are. But look at that. That condenser is on its way out. You can buy these. I'll probably actually contact, before I put these back together, I'll probably contact the customer and see if they want me to replace that. Because I think these are still available. You probably can find a modern version of it and put some wires in, but by the time you work them out as cost-wise and everything else, it's probably a bit beyond it. But I'll give them a shout and see what they want to do with it, because that probably wants replacing. And then these will be good as new. So, let's lay them out so we can all see what we're up to. So we've got that, we've got that, we've got there, we've got there, we've got blades, we've got a rear cover, we've got an O-ring that goes with it, we've got filters that sit in there. So compared to modern day horse clippers, a lot more robust, a lot sturdier, and to be honest, I really like them. That come off here as well, so this will all come apart. Anyway, I'll get these cleaned up, chat to the customer about this, see what they want to do with it, and hopefully there'll be a part 2 of this. So, if you enjoyed the video, if you like it, if you like the Stablemate clippers, and that's what you prefer compared to some of these newer ones, leave a note in that comments below. Let us know how you get on with them. But otherwise, hit that thumbs up button and have a good day. And goodbye.